So, hello everybody. My name is Adrian Geissel. My company is Surpassport Systems, and I'm here today to talk about Able Active. Able Active is an app that we launched in July of this year that has set out, not initially, but now sets out on a mission to improve the information that's available around accessibility so that people can be more active. And when I'm talking about active, I'm talking about being predominantly physically active outdoors. We may talk about it in terms of sport, or may just talk about going out into nature. I think everybody in this room understands the additional challenge that's needed to prepare and or make that decision to go outdoors. So everything I'm talking about, I'm from Ireland, and everything I talk about is in Ireland. I heard a nice term being used there about a focus market. That's where we started, that's where we are. And of course, that doesn't have to be our limit. We started Enable Active about subscribing to or consuming available open data sets that come from national organizations, that come from regional organizations or municipalities, that kind of level, but also from other third-party trusted sources. And we talk in terms of mapping, right? So mapping means that we have map coordinates, we have coordinates, and that allows us to start bringing these data sets together. And we think in terms of currently 10 categories of disabilities, and we invite users to identify which disabilities apply to them. So it's kind of self-measuring, but we also invite them to report how independent they are. So we know that some users may have a disability, but they're very, very independent, and other users may have the same disability from the outside or nominally, but require much more assistance. Now, why do we do that? And we do that because we're interested in subcategorizing the feedback that they give us so that we can learn, and this is an AI conference, so that over time we can learn a little bit more about the specifics of what they're interested in, and then we can do better recommendation over time to other users with similar needs and similar interests. This is where we started out. Where are we at? Well, we know that there's inconsistent levels of data around. So we know that some data sets have maybe a preference or a bias towards certain maybe physical disabilities and not so much for the hidden disabilities. Or we can tap into a niche data set that addresses the needs of a community. That leaves us in an interesting position, because now what we have to do is we have to collect, or we have to find ways of getting the data. In short, we turn this problem on its head, and we now partner with organizations to work with their members to digitize the knowledge that these members have accumulated over their experiences into a form that allows it to benefit other members, of course, of the organization, but users in general. So as an example, we're working with Spinal Injuries Ireland. We're working with people who have recovered from a spinal cord injury. And of course, they may be ambulant, or they may be fully wheelchair, powered chair dependent, and full spectrum in between. But what we're trying to do is understand what swimming pools they use and what gyms they use, so that information can be of benefit to other members. We're interested in data. It doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, we're not looking for perfect, because different groups and different users have different needs, and therefore there is not necessarily one optimal environment. In terms of a demo, I have a large screen here on my iPad that I can show the app working. Of course, this is a nice small nature reserve in Ireland. We include all kinds of weird information here, like the nearest defibrillator. We include the weather forecast, of course, the trail outline. We're learning what else is important, and a key element there is, for example, mapping hazards. So hazards can be anything from, this trail gets very mucky, Irish word, very mucky when it's wet. Or it can be as specific as there is a strong incline, decline, or a strong dip in the trail that might affect somebody with a heart condition. So this is kind of information that we're looking to do. We get some of it from our partners, and others we get from our users. So if you're interested, I'd love to show it to you. I'm somewhere down there, and please find me. And I think that's me for questions. So thank you very much.